Welcome back to Eternal Vault, where we journey through science, history, and imagination to explore questions that bend the limits of human thought. Now imagine this. For just 5 seconds, the Earth stops spinning. Not slowing down, not gradually winding to a halt, but an abrupt, instant, total stop. 5 seconds. Shorter than the time it takes you to open a door, sip water, or glance at your phone. Yet in those fleeting moments, the familiar rhythms of our world unravel in ways beyond comprehension. Why is this so frightening? Because we take Earth's spin for granted. We count our lives in days and nights, yet rarely think about what drives them. We celebrate sunrises and sunsets, but forget that these are illusions born of rotation. We marvel at hurricanes, tides, and jet streams without realizing that they owe their choreography to the steady eastward turn of our planet. But what if that turning ceased? What if the delicate machine stopped for a mere heartbeat of cosmic time? What happens when the unstoppable meets the immovable? The answer is apocalypse compressed into seconds. To understand the catastrophe, let us first understand what we would be losing. The Earth is constantly rotating on its axis, completing one full revolution every 24 hours. At first glance, that sounds gentle and calm. But when translated into actual speeds, the numbers are breathtaking. At the equator, the surface hurtles eastward at 1,670 kilometers per hour, 1,037 miles per hour. That's faster than a passenger jet, faster than a bullet train, faster than anything you've likely experienced. In mid-latitudes like Rome, New York, or Delhi, the speed remains above 1,200 kilometers per h. At the poles, the speed is effectively zero. We don't feel this speed because of relative motion. Everything around us, oceans, air, people, cars, is moving in the same direction at the same velocity. It's the same reason you don't feel the speed inside an airplane flying smoothly at 900 kilometers per h. You only notice when the plane accelerates, decelerates, or hits turbulence. And the Earth's spin isn't just background motion. It actively shapes the planet. Earth's shape. Our planet bulges at the equator due to centrifugal force, making it 42 kilometers wider across the equator than from pole to pole. Without rotation, Earth would collapse into a perfect sphere. The atmosphere and weather, the Coriolis effect, caused by rotation, bends winds and currents, shaping hurricanes, trade winds, and ocean gyres. It redistributes heat from the equator toward the poles, keeping the planet habitable. Tides and oceans. Though tides are primarily caused by the moon, Earth's spin modifies how tidal bulges move across the oceans, affecting coastlines worldwide. Biological rhythms. Life on Earth has evolved under the rhythm of rotation. Plants orient toward the sun, animals migrate using magnetic cues, and humans set their clocks by the day-night cycle. Take away this motion, even briefly, and physics strikes back with merciless precision. The Earth stops. In a single, unfathomable instant, the solid crust halts because it is directly bound to the planet's mantle. But the oceans, atmosphere, and everything loose on the surface, from skyscrapers to trees to you, continue flying eastward at full velocity. At the equator, this means being flung forward at over 1,000 miles per hour. Imagine a car crash, but scaled up to the speed of a jet plane and applied to everything everywhere at once. Human beings would be hurled like projectiles. Survival is impossible. Buildings tear apart from their foundations. Bridges snap, dams rupture, towers topple. Forests flatten as trees are ripped from the soil. Even mountainsides collapse under the force of lateral inertia. Beneath the surface, the crust absorbs massive strain. Every fault line across the globe ruptures simultaneously. Earthquakes of unimaginable scale ripple outward. The 1960 Valdivia earthquake in Chile, the most powerful ever recorded, released energy equivalent to 2,000 atomic bombs. Multiply that by every fault line firing together, and you begin to glimpse the chaos of this first second. Civilization collapses instantly. Now the atmosphere takes over as executioner. The Earth may have stopped, but the air above continues to surge eastward. Winds reach supersonic speeds, forming a global hurricane with no precedent. These are not winds that push or bend trees. These are winds that shred matter apart. At 1,000 miles per hour, even concrete is scoured, steel bends, and glass vaporizes. The destruction is magnified by friction. As the atmosphere slams against the now stationary surface, it generates immense heat. Landscapes ignite. Grasslands, forests, and cities erupt into firestorms. The entire surface of the Earth becomes a furnace as shockwaves ripple across continents. This isn't weather. This is the planetary atmosphere weaponized. While the air tears across land, the oceans follow inertia. Every drop of water in the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian and Arctic Oceans surges eastward with unstoppable force. Coastlines are the first to vanish. But this isn't a tidal wave. It's an ocean displaced. Walls of water kilometers high sweep inland, obliterating cities. Low-lying countries like Bangladesh, the Netherlands, and island nations simply disappear. Continental shelves collapse under the weight of water surges, and then the deeper transformation begins. Without rotation, centrifugal force ceases. The equatorial bulge collapses. The oceans start migrating toward the poles. Over centuries, this migration would create a new geography. The equator becomes a dry supercontinent. The poles drown under new seas. In 5 seconds, the foundations of Earth's geography begin to rewrite themselves. The shock of stopping doesn't end at the surface. It reaches deep into the heart of the Earth. The outer core, a churning ocean of molten iron, smashes violently against the inner core. This destabilizes the geodynamo, the system that powers Earth's magnetic field. For even a few moments, the protective bubble shielding us from solar radiation flickers. Cosmic rays and solar winds begin seeping into the atmosphere. With no spin, Earth's equatorial bulge collapses. The crust contracts toward a sphere, creating supervolcano-scale eruptions worldwide. Magma chambers burst open. Ash and sulfur darken the sky. Global volcanic winters set in, echoing the Deccan Traps eruptions that may have helped wipe out the dinosaurs. The Earth is not only breaking on the surface, it is breaking at its very core. Then, as suddenly as it stopped, Earth begins spinning again. But the restart is not salvation. It is the second apocalypse. The oceans, surging toward the poles, are yanked back toward the equator. This sloshing creates mega tsunamis that cross the planet for centuries. The atmosphere, rushing eastward, collides with a moving crust, reversing into shockwaves of unimaginable turbulence. Survivors, if any exist in bunkers, face an unrecognizable sky filled with dust, radiation and storms. Restarting motion does not restore balance. It ensures a centuries-long planetary chaos, a broken climate, and the near-certain extinction of all higher life. When the 5 seconds end, Earth still spins, but it is no longer the world we knew. Civilization is gone. Cities are rubble, nations are dust, languages vanish, cultures perish. Future geologists, if life ever evolves again, would find a strange layer in the rocks. A chaotic mixture of glass, pulverized concrete, bones and marine debris spread across every continent. This becomes a fossilized tombstone, marking the day Earth's civilization ended in 5 seconds. It would rival the Chicxulub asteroid impact, the event that ended the reign of the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. But unlike that asteroid, this extinction came not from the stars, but from the very physics of Earth's rotation. This scenario is terrifying, but it reminds us of something profound. We exist on a fragile world held in balance by forces we seldom notice. Rotation gives us days and nights. Rotation fuels the weather that sustains crops. Rotation stabilizes oceans and continents. Rotation maintains the magnetic field that shields us from radiation. Without it, even for 5 seconds, the miracle of life collapses. It teaches us humility. We are not masters of the Earth. We are passengers on a ship whose engines run silently and endlessly. The fact that we do not feel this motion is both a blessing and a curse. It blinds us to its importance. In this apocalypse, no country is spared. The US and Canada would see the Atlantic surge swallow cities like New York, Boston and Miami. India and South Asia would face tsunamis overwhelming Mumbai, Chennai, Dhaka and Colombo. Europe would vanish beneath waves sweeping in from the North Atlantic and Mediterranean. China, Japan and Southeast Asia would be erased under Pacific megatsunamis. Africa and South America would be scoured by supersonic winds and inland floods. For the first time in history, humanity would share the same fate in the same instant. No borders, no politics, just the raw physics of annihilation. So what if Earth stops spinning for 5 seconds? The answer is stark. Life ends. Civilization is erased. The planet itself is scarred forever. But this nightmare is also a lesson. It reminds us to value the silent, invisible gifts of the universe. The spin of the Earth is not just a clock. It is the guardian of our existence. It has carried us safely for billions of years, from the first cell to the rise of cities. So the next time you watch the sun rise, remember, you are witnessing the power of a world in motion, a gift so constant we forget it's there, yet so vital that losing it would unmake everything. Now we turn to you. What other planetary what-ifs intrigue you? What if the Earth started spinning backwards? What if our planet spun twice as fast, or half as slow? What if one day, the Earth simply stopped for good? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this journey through the edges of science thought-provoking, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us here at Infinite Archive, where we explore the mysteries that shape existence itself.